Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were covering.
Yeah, and that was just minor stuff that. What is. So yeah, that's a ZTF report. There is no ZTF report. Moving right along. Yep, you're very welcome. Correspondence for 8:05. Look, now we're going ahead. No correspondence. Awesome. Other business this evening. The oaths of the chairman, member Shams, and the ZBA secretary. Did you sign it up?
No, I went to the clerk. I used to do it and they should be here.
Still haven't gotten around to it either. Sure, you have.
I've signed one.
Yeah, you did, when you only have to do it when your term starts, or if you're the chair every
Or
year.
it's just started over. I have to do mine every year. So awesome. So yeah, just file it under things to keep in mind. We do have to do that with the clerk during the day.
Oh, they didn't do it.
I used to, Judy used to let me bring the book, but Tracy wants you to be in front of it, so.
All right, so we have to do it with Tracy.
I would call first
Oh, no, I
because
didn't
she's
do it.
doing some hours change.
I
What's
did
it?
it.
Keep my eye out.
Yesterday, last week.
Second item of business under other business, we have discussions of membership. So I'm gonna just flip the order of these. We have, Aaron Gill present in the audience this evening, who did submit a letter of interest and application or a resume to us. Did everybody have a chance to check it out? Aaron's lived in the Hurley, born and raised, correct? Moved abroad,
Yeah,
came back.
moved away for love, came back for love. So I've been living back since 2001. I was living in New York City for 5 years, and then we moved back in 2006. I live up in Glenford, not far from Pat Buffani's house. And I've spent the last 17 years teaching a lot of tennis and being really busy, but now because of my body breaking down, I'm not going to be working. You know, I just can't teach as much as I used to. So I have some extra time and wanted to volunteer and thought that the town could possibly use me. And, you know, I'm on the comprehensive review committee of the CAC, and it came to my attention that you guys might have a vacancy here. I don't know a ton about zoning, so it would be a learning curve for me. But I do know the town well, and I do have what I hope is quite a bit of common sense that I grew up with my family. And I graduated from NYU, was employed for them in France for about 5 years after graduating and stayed there and then came back. What else? I'm on the board of Voice Theater in Bearsville. It's a theater company that does plays in Kingston. What else can I tell you about myself? I'm just interested in the town, and there is one thing is I do with my sister own quite a bit of land in the town, about 500 acres that is currently for sale, but there's been no action anywhere on anything. But that has to be, you know.
Is it down in, is it part?
No, most of it is it's all vacant forest, and it's in between 209 and Lucas Avenue, and then there's another piece up on Dug Hill Road that borders George Jacquemart's property.
If anything were to arise and you did make it onto our board, you would just have to recuse yourself.
Of course,
Anything
yeah,
that was,
obviously. Yeah.
You know, we leave the board members themselves. to
Right.
Decide what they think of as possibly conflict.
Right.
So in my opinion, I don't think that meritocracy, anything, I gauge that as a possible plus, because for our board, I hold people weight on your knowledge of precisely how we work at the zoning board level versus your knowledge of the town itself. I understand growing up in Old Hurley, now I wasn't aware you lived in Glenford, you probably have a good knowledge of both sides of the town. And so that's always a plus of knowing the various areas and parcels and how town works. And I'd be lying if I said myself had no awareness of zoning code whatsoever when I started. That's probably after us, so, yeah.
In the last hour.
Yeah, and we, as I stated to Karen upon speaking to her, we kind of have to hyper focus on areas of the zoning code as well. So it's a great way to get your feet wet. You know, as you all know, you don't have to know everything soup to nuts exactly the second you step on the board. You just kind of get your application. So, okay, now I can study this part and study this part and study this part before you know it, have a nice broad puzzle put together.
I imagine there's a lot of, reading when, you get submissions by attorneys and things like that. You have
Oh,
to
there's
read.
lots.
Excuse me?
There's lots of reading.
Yeah. I'm sure
Anytime
lots
there's
of
attorneys
reading.
involved, you usually get a lot more than
Yes.
you need.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just very simple stuff. So, with that being said, and we do have, opening for another member to make us once again a complete 7-member board. I would, and I don't know, but I have to make a motion for this, just say that we can reach out, I'll I'll talk to, Deb about this, because most likely she would be the one probably presenting the request to the town board, because ultimately it's the town board's decision.
You live on High Rock?
Huh?
You live on High Rock?
I live on, Ohio Mountain Road, right across from High
Yeah,
Rocks.
yeah.
My driveway is like right across from High Rocks.
So,
I've always-
querying of the board, does anybody see any reason that we wouldn't want to make a recommendation to the town board to consider Karen Gill as a additional new member?
I've always been the northernmost member of the board. So willing to see that.
You
So
have been the
gracious,
Western
Lauren.
gatekeeper all these years.
Is that like the North, what was that TV show?
Deal with the bellows now.
Northern
You're on the
Lights?
wall.
Yeah,
You gotta
the wall.
deal with
Yeah.
bellows.
Oh, I'm dating myself when I say
That was
northern.
one of
Lights.
the really hot.
Yeah, it's seriously good.
All right, well
No
then I'm
objections.
making an informal motion that we make a recommendation to the town board to consider Karen Gill for a place to be the 7th member on our board. And taking into consideration the positive affirmation board. Aspect. Seconded by Liston, all in favor, verbal aye or show of hands. Remember, that was an unofficial, I guess, so. All right, thank you very much. Mary.
Thank you. Thank you for considering me.
Yep,
Have a good evening.
You too.
hopefully we'll see more.
Yes. Thank you.
Second item under other business would be discussing member Andy Shapiro's attendance, dismal attendance.
What attendance? Funny, yeah.
I just wanted to know, is he okay?
I
Is he
mean,
like, do you get reasons, Maggie?
Yes,
Okay,
they're,
they're not great. They're funny.
he's healthy.
Not anniversaries or children having surgery.
Good. I like to do so.
would you also have to come right towards your head?
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, like, great.
Life's birthdays, anniversaries, surgeries.
So I did,
General not showing.
Fantastic work-life balance.
I did just to be thorough because, if we've made a recommendation to the town board that we want off, it's like a,
Do we have the data?
I don't know that in my 7 years, we have the data on this. In my 7 years with the board, I don't think anybody has just been removed without their term being up. Yeah, I am aware his membership term is up at the end of the year as well. So. I haven't, yeah, I've written Andy in the past, and this is going back probably at least 5-6 months ago during his absences and saying, we can always use you, and when you're not present, it just puts more strain on the other members of the board to have to show up. He's always the first one, it seems like, to tap out. And he said, okay, but he still taps out. I haven't, I'm not one to try, I kind of try to tell people something once in a nice manner, and then I don't feel like it's my job to keep egging them on or so, you know, hoping things would get better, but past 4 or 5 months have just been completely almost absent. He's on his 3rd absence and this year, and the 4th. He's got a learn meeting. I believe he had 5, maybe 6 absences last year. We only had 10 meetings. Less than half the meetings I showed up to. And then there was 2022, I think there was 4 absences or so. And I don't think he went much back before that, because I believe he filled in a term when maybe we only had 4 board members present, maybe 5, but I'm personally, I'm thinking that I would rather have a 7th board member while we have people coming to us and interested. I am under the understanding that Mr. Shapiro, we know he wrote a letter to apply to the town board to be appointed at the end of the last election cycle. He was not chosen, and I've been told that he is now once again going to be running for town board. So he's already looking beyond zoning board of appeals.
So what?
So I guess the next step is first query the board on what they think, but I guess the best thing would be to, after we have the discussion, table making any decision and reach out to Andy directly to see